Chiara slammed both hands against the marble floor as her body was dragged backward, her silk wedding dress snagging against the jagged edge of a broken chair. "Let me go." Her voice cracked as two men in black suits pulled her toward the open doors of the villa. Across the room, Luca Moretti stood perfectly still. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. His black shirt hung open at the collar, revealing tattoos crawling from his neck down across his chest and disappearing beneath the fabric. One of his knuckles was split, but he wasn't looking at the man. He was looking at Chiara. "Luca," she screamed. "You said nobody would hurt me." His jaw tightened. "I said nobody would touch you." A gunshot exploded against the ceiling. Everyone froze. Luca slowly raised his eyes toward the shooter. The man holding the gun swallowed. "Boss, she knows too much." Luca smiled. It was the kind of smile that made hardened criminals step backward. "Then you should have asked me before you decided what happens to my wife." The room went silent. Chiara stared at him. Wife. The word felt impossible. She had been married to Luca Moretti for exactly 3 hours. And already, someone was trying to drag her out of his house. If you want to see how this impossible marriage unfolds, subscribe now, because what Chiara was about to discover about the man standing in front of her would change everything. Luca crossed the room. One step, then another. The men released Chiara immediately. She stumbled forward, catching herself against the edge of the table. Luca reached her. "Are you hurt?" Chiara stared at him, breathing hard. "You're asking me that now?" His eyes dropped to her scraped palm. "Your hand. I don't care about my hand." "You should." "Luca." He looked directly into her eyes. "Tell me what happened." She pointed toward the men. "They said your uncle ordered them to take me away." Something changed in Luca's face. "My uncle? They said you were never supposed to marry me." Luca's expression hardened. "Who said that?" Chiara turned. The room was empty. The men who had grabbed her were gone. Her eyes widened. "They were right there." "I know." "Then where did they go?" Luca didn't answer. He pulled a handkerchief from his pocket and gently wrapped it around her bleeding palm. Chiara watched him. The same hands that had broken a man's jaw minutes earlier were now carefully tying a piece of silk around her skin. "You're confusing me," she whispered. "Good." She frowned. "Good. If you're confused, you're less likely to do something stupid. I was kidnapped inside my own wedding reception. You were almost kidnapped. That doesn't make me feel better." "It should." Chiara snatched her hand away. "You know what? I don't think I can do this." Luca's eyes narrowed. "Do what?" "This marriage." For the first time, his expression cracked. Only slightly. But she saw it. "You agreed." "I was forced." "So was I." Chiara stared at him. "What?" His voice dropped. "You think I wanted this?" She looked around the enormous villa, at the armed guards stationed beyond the doors, at the expensive chandeliers, the marble floors, the terrified guests who had already disappeared. "You have a strange way of showing it." Luca stepped closer. "I didn't choose you because of your family." "Then why?" He hesitated. "Because the truth was complicated." 3 months earlier, Chiara had been working at her aunt's small bakery in Naples when 2 black cars had stopped outside. Her father had been dead for 6 years. Her mother had disappeared from her life long before that. And her younger brother owed money to the wrong people. Chiara had thought the men had come for him. Instead, they had come for her. "Your brother owes 40,000 euros, the older man had said. Chiara had stared at him. "He doesn't have 40,000. "We know." "Then what do you want?" The man had placed a photograph on the counter. "Luca Moretti. He needs a wife." Back in the villa, Chiara's eyes filled with anger. "You paid my brother's debt." Luca said nothing. "You did, didn't you?" "Yes." "And in exchange, I had to marry you." "Yes." "You didn't even tell me the truth." "I didn't have time." "You had months." "I had enemies." She laughed bitterly. "You always have an excuse." Luca stepped closer. "Chiara, listen to me." "No. You need to understand something." "I understand enough." "No, you don't." His voice became unusually quiet. "When I agreed to this marriage, I was told you would be protected. And now you're in more danger than you were before." Her anger faltered. "Why?" Luca looked toward the closed doors. "Because someone inside my family wants me dead." Chiara's breath caught. "And they think killing you won't be enough." "What do they want from me?" Luca's eyes returned to hers. "They want you to give them something I refuse to give them." "What?" He didn't answer. A phone began vibrating somewhere in the room. Luca reached into his pocket. He looked at the screen. His face went completely cold. Chiara noticed. Who is it? Luca answered without taking his eyes off her. Speak. A man's voice came through the phone. Luca listened. His grip tightened. Then the color disappeared from his face. What did you say? Chiara stepped toward him. Luca. He ended the call. What happened? He stared at her for several seconds. Then he said something that made her blood run cold. Your brother wasn't the one who owed 40,000 euros. Chiara's lips parted. Then who was? Luca looked toward the dark hallway behind her. You. A crash thundered from upstairs. Chiara flinched. Luca immediately moved in front of her. Another crash. Then footsteps. Fast. Coming toward them. Luca pulled a pistol from beneath his jacket. Stay behind me. Chiara's heart pounded. Luca, what is happening? The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then a woman's voice drifted down the staircase. Chiara. Chiara froze. She knew that voice. It was impossible. Her mother had been missing for 12 years. And yet, from the darkness above them, she heard her whisper again. Chiara, don't trust your husband. Chiara stumbled backward as the woman appeared at the top of the staircase, one hand gripping the railing, her face half hidden beneath a dark hood. Mom. Luca raised his gun. Stay behind me. The woman descended one step. Don't let him take you. Chiara's eyes filled with tears. Is that really you? The woman pulled down her hood. Chiara stopped breathing. It was her mother. Older, thinner, frightened, but unmistakable. Why are you here? Her mother's eyes flicked toward Luca. Because I know what he is. Luca's expression didn't change. You know nothing about me. I know enough. Chiara stepped around him. You've been alive all this time? Her mother swallowed. I had to disappear. You let me believe you were dead. I was trying to keep you alive. By abandoning me? The words hit harder than any gunshot. Her mother looked down. I thought your father had hidden you well enough. Luca's eyes narrowed. Hidden her from whom? Her mother stared at him. From the Moretti family. The silence became suffocating. Chiara looked between them. What does my family have to do with yours? Her mother descended another step. Everything. Luca lowered the gun slightly. Tell her. No. Tell her now. Her mother's voice trembled. Your father and Luca's father were enemies. Chiara shook her head. My father was a baker. That is what he wanted you to believe. Luca looked at Chiara. Your father wasn't a baker. She stared at him. Then what was he? A man who knew where bodies were buried. Her mother's face tightened. He kept records. What records? Payments. Names. Politicians. Judges. Police officers. Every person your husband's family had bought. Chiara felt the room tilt. Luca's voice was quiet. And he stole the records. Her mother nodded. He hid them before he died. Chiara looked at Luca. And you married me because you thought I knew where they were. Luca didn't answer immediately. That hesitation was enough. Her eyes hardened. You did. I suspected. You used me. I protected you. You married me to find those records. I married you because I was ordered to. Her mother's eyes widened. Luca. He ignored her. Your father left one final message. It said the records could only be found by his daughter. Chiara's voice dropped. I don't know anything. I believe you. Then why keep me here? Because someone else believes you do. A gunshot shattered the window. Glass exploded across the room. Luca grabbed Chiara and threw her behind the marble column. Down. Another shot tore through the wall. Guards rushed inside. Luca moved with terrifying precision. Lock the gates. Already doing it, boss. Find the shooter. Chiara pressed herself against the column, trembling. Her mother crouched beside her. Listen to me. Chiara turned. Where have you been? Prison. Chiara's eyes widened. For what? Her mother whispered. For your father's murder. Chiara stared at her. He was murdered? Yes. By whom? Her mother looked toward Luca. Chiara followed her gaze. Luca was standing near the shattered window, his tattooed arms tense as he examined the bullet hole. Don't look at him, her mother whispered. Why? Because if he knows what you really are, he'll never let you leave. Chiara's stomach twisted. What am I? Her mother reached into her coat and pulled out a small brass key. Your father left this for you. Chiara stared at it. What does it open? Something that belongs to the Moretti family. Luca suddenly turned. What did you give her? Her mother quickly closed Chiara's fingers around the key. Hide it. Chiara slipped it into the folds of her dress. Luca approached. What did she give you? Nothing. His eyes stayed on her. Chiara. She forced herself to breathe. You're scaring me. Something softened in his expression. I don't want you afraid of me. Then stop treating me like a prisoner. I will. When this is over. Her mother laughed bitterly. It will never be over. Luca looked at her. You should have stayed hidden. I couldn't. Why? Because they found the girl. Chiara's heart stopped. What girl? Her mother looked at her. The girl who was supposed to inherit everything. Luca's expression changed. That's impossible. Her mother shook her head. No, it's the truth. Chiara looked between them. What are you talking about? Luca's phone rang again. He answered. Yes. A guard's voice came through. Boss, we've got the shooter. Luca turned toward the door. Alive? Yes. Bring him downstairs. Chiara grabbed his arm. Wait. He looked at her hand on his tattooed forearm. Don't go. His eyes softened. Why? I don't know. For the first time that night, Luca seemed vulnerable. He covered her hand with his. Then I'll stay. Her mother watched them silently. Then she whispered something that made Chiara's blood run cold. You shouldn't be falling in love with him. Chiara slowly turned. What? Her mother looked at Luca. Because the truth about his infertility isn't what he told you. Luca's face went completely still. Chiara's fingers slipped from his arm. What did you say? Her mother took a shaky breath. Luca Moretti isn't infertile. The room went silent. Chiara stared at her husband. Luca didn't deny it. And that frightened her more than anything else that had happened that night. Chiara stared at Luca as if she had never seen him before. You're not infertile? Luca's jaw tightened. Chiara, this isn't the place. Then where is the place? He looked away. Tell me. Your mother doesn't know everything. Her mother stepped forward. I know enough. Luca's eyes flashed. You know what I allowed you to know. Chiara's voice trembled. Why did you let me believe you couldn't have children? Luca didn't answer. That silence cut deeper than any confession. Chiara laughed once, but there was no humor in it. So that's why you never touched me. His eyes snapped toward her. Don't. Why? Is it embarrassing? No. Then tell me the truth. Luca took a slow breath. I was told I couldn't have children. By whom? My doctor. And you believed him? I had no reason not to. Her mother shook her head. The doctor was paid. Luca's face hardened. By my uncle. Chiara stared. Your own family did this to you. They wanted me incapable of producing an heir. Why? Because an heir would have changed who controlled the family. Chiara's anger began turning into something else. Pity. Luca noticed. Don't look at me like that. Like what? Like I'm broken. You aren't. His expression softened for half a second. Then a guard rushed through the doorway. Boss. Luca turned. What? We caught the shooter. Take me to him. The guard hesitated. He asked for Chiara. Luca's entire body went rigid. What did he say? He said he won't talk unless she comes. Chiara looked at Luca. I'll go. No. Why? Because he knows your name. So do you. This is different. Chiara stepped closer. You've spent months making decisions for me. Because I was keeping you alive. Then let me decide this one. Luca studied her. Finally, he nodded. Stay beside me. They descended into the underground room beneath the villa. Chiara had never seen it before. Concrete walls. Metal doors. One bare light hanging from the ceiling. The captured shooter sat tied to a chair, blood running from his forehead. He lifted his head. The moment he saw Chiara, he smiled. You finally came. Luca stepped in front of her. What do you want? The man laughed. Not you. His eyes moved toward Chiara. Her. Luca's hand tightened around his gun. You have 10 seconds. The man leaned forward. Your husband never told you about the night you were born. Chiara froze. What about it? Luca grabbed the man's collar. Choose your next words carefully. The shooter smiled. Her father didn't die 6 years ago. Chiara's face went pale. He died the night she was born. Her mother gasped. No. The man looked at her. You know I'm telling the truth. Chiara turned toward her mother. Mom. Her mother couldn't speak. Luca released the man. Who are you? The shooter looked at him. Someone who worked for your father. My father. Yes. Chiara's breathing became shallow. My father was involved with the Moretti family? The man nodded. He wasn't their enemy. Luca's eyes narrowed. He was their partner. Chiara stepped backward. No. The shooter continued. Your father didn't steal the records. Then what did he do? He hid them. Why? Because he discovered what the Morettis were planning. Luca leaned closer. What were they planning? The shooter smiled. To kill their own bloodline. Nobody moved. Chiara looked at Luca. What does that mean? The shooter pointed at him. Your husband's uncle wasn't trying to take over the family. He pointed at Chiara. He was trying to erase the last 2 people who could expose him. Luca's expression became murderous. Who? The shooter laughed. You and her. A sudden metallic click came from behind the door. Luca turned. Everybody down. The door exploded inward. Smoke filled the room. Chiara screamed. Luca grabbed her around the waist and pulled her behind him. Gunfire erupted. Stay down. Men shouted from the hallway. Luca fired back. His tattoos disappeared beneath smoke and shadows as he moved, shielding Chiara with his body. Luca, I'm here. A bullet struck the metal wall beside his head. He didn't flinch. Then he saw something. A small red laser dot appeared on Chiara's chest. His eyes widened. Chiara. He tackled her. The shot fired. The bullet tore through Luca's shoulder. He collapsed on top of her. Luca. Chiara pushed against him. Blood soaked through his shirt. You've been shot. I'm fine. You are bleeding. I said I'm fine. He tried to stand. His legs buckled. Chiara caught him. Help. His guards stormed the room. The attackers fled. Within seconds, the underground chamber fell silent. Chiara pressed both hands against Luca's wound. Stay awake. His breathing was heavy. You're shaking. Because you're bleeding on me. He managed a faint smile. Still angry. Yes. Good. Why? Means you care. Chiara's eyes filled with tears. You're an idiot. I've been called worse. She pressed harder against the wound. Don't you dare die. Luca looked at her. I'm not going anywhere. But his eyes were already losing focus. Then his phone began ringing. Chiara grabbed it. The caller's name appeared. Uncle Matteo. She answered. What do you want? Silence. Then a calm voice said. Put Luca on. He can't talk. Then listen carefully. Chiara's grip tightened. Who are you? The voice chuckled. You'll know soon enough. What do you want? I want the key your mother gave you. Chiara froze. Luca's eyes opened. He had heard. The caller continued. Give it to me before midnight. And if I don't, then your mother dies. The line went dead. Chiara slowly lowered the phone. Luca looked at her. What did he say? She couldn't answer. Chiara. She swallowed. He wants the key. Luca stared at her. And he has your mother. Chiara nodded. Then her hand instinctively moved toward the hidden key beneath her dress. Luca saw it. His expression changed. Don't give it to him. But he'll kill her. He wants you to believe that. What if you're wrong? Luca pushed himself upright despite the pain. Then we're going to find her before midnight. Chiara stared at him. And if we can't? Luca looked directly into her eyes. Then I'll burn every building in Naples until I find her. But neither of them noticed the small smear of blood on Chiara's dress. Blood that wasn't Luca's. And neither noticed the faint dizziness beginning to spread through her body. She blinked. The room suddenly seemed to tilt. Luca. He caught her before she fell. Chiara. She tried to speak, but everything went black. Chiara opened her eyes to the sound of rain striking glass. For several seconds, she didn't know where she was. Then she felt the mattress beneath her. A sharp ache pulsed behind her eyes. Luca. No answer. She pushed herself upright. The room spun violently. Easy. A familiar voice came from the corner. Luca sat in a chair beside the window, his injured shoulder wrapped tightly in white bandages. Chiara stared at him. You're supposed to be resting. So are you. What happened? You fainted. Why? I don't know. He stood. She noticed the exhaustion in his face. How long? For hours. Her eyes widened. 4. Yes. My mother. We're looking for her. Have you found her? No. Chiara swung her legs off the bed. Then I'm going. Luca immediately blocked the door. You're staying here. I said I'm going. You collapsed. I can walk. You couldn't even stay conscious. Move. No. She stared at him. You don't own me. His expression softened. I know. Then move. I can't. Why? Because if something happens to you, I won't forgive myself. The anger drained from her face. You're afraid. Luca looked away. Yes. The admission stunned her. He had faced bullets without blinking. Yet he was afraid of losing her. Chiara slowly sat back down. Why? Luca looked at her. Because you're the first thing in my life I didn't acquire through violence. Her heart tightened. Before she could respond, the bedroom door opened. A doctor entered carrying a medical bag. Boss. Luca turned. What did you find? The doctor looked at Chiara. Your wife needs blood tests immediately. Why? She has been experiencing dizziness? Chiara nodded. And nausea? She hesitated. Yes. Luca looked at her. When did that start? About 2 weeks ago. His face changed. You never told me. I thought it was stress. The doctor frowned. And unusual fatigue? Chiara nodded. Every morning. Any sensitivity to smells? She looked surprised. Yes. The doctor slowly closed his medical bag. Boss, I think we should run a pregnancy test. Silence. Chiara stared at him. A pregnancy test? The doctor nodded. Luca didn't move. Chiara's voice became barely audible. But he can't have children. The doctor looked at Luca. That may not be true. Luca's eyes darkened. Do it. The doctor left. Chiara sat completely still. You never touched me. Luca's jaw tightened. I know. Then how could I be pregnant? I don't know. She searched his face. Are you lying to me? No. Then who? Her voice died. A memory flashed through her mind. 3 weeks earlier. A charity dinner. Too much wine. A room upstairs. A man she barely remembered. Chiara covered her mouth. Luca saw her reaction. What? She couldn't finish. Chiara, I remember something. What? She shook her head. No. Tell me. She looked terrified. Someone came into my room that night. Luca's expression became lethal. Who? I don't know. Did he hurt you? No. Did he touch you? I don't remember. Luca stepped backward. The restraint in his face was frightening. I'll find out. No. He stopped. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You'll kill whoever it was. If he touched you without your consent, yes. Chiara grabbed his wrist. Please. He looked down at her hand. She whispered, I don't want more blood. His eyes softened. I won't do anything until you know the truth. The door opened. The doctor returned. His face was pale. Luca immediately knew something was wrong. Speak. The doctor looked at Chiara. The test is positive. Chiara's breath caught. Luca stared at the doctor. Are you certain? Yes. How far? Approximately 8 weeks. Chiara's hands began trembling. 8. The doctor nodded. Luca slowly turned toward her. 8 weeks. Their wedding had happened only 3 months ago. Chiara looked at him. I don't understand. The doctor continued. There is something else. Luca's voice was cold. What? The blood work shows an unusual hormonal pattern. Chiara frowned. What does that mean? I need another test. Why? The doctor hesitated. Because there may be a complication. Luca stepped closer. What kind of complication? I don't know yet. Chiara's hand moved to her stomach. She felt nothing. No movement. No miracle. Just fear. Then Luca's phone rang. He answered. Talk. A guard's voice came through. Boss, we found the vehicle used to take your mother-in-law. Where? An abandoned warehouse near the port. Luca looked at Chiara. Is she alive? A pause. We found blood. Chiara's face drained of color. Luca grabbed his jacket. I'll handle it. Chiara stood. No. Stay here. I'm coming. You're pregnant. And she's my mother. You could be walking into a trap. She is already inside one. Luca stared at her. For several seconds, neither moved. Then he picked up his gun. Fine. Chiara frowned. Fine. You're coming. He stepped closer. But you stay beside me. They rushed downstairs. Outside, rain hammered the courtyard. Luca opened the car door for her. Before Chiara entered, she suddenly stopped. Her stomach cramped. She gripped the door. Chiara. She breathed through the pain. It passed. Luca looked worried. Are you sure? Yes. He studied her face. Then he noticed something on the ground. A tiny gold pendant. He picked it up. His eyes widened. Chiara recognized it immediately. My mother wore that. Luca turned the pendant over. Something was engraved on the back. A single letter. M. Then his phone buzzed. A message appeared. Come to the warehouse alone. Below it was a photograph. Chiara's mother was tied to a chair. Alive. But beside her stood a man whose face made Luca freeze. Chiara looked at the photograph. Who was that? Luca didn't answer. Luca. His eyes remained fixed on the screen. Then he whispered. My father. Chiara's blood ran cold. That can't be. My father died 15 years ago. Another message appeared. He didn't. Luca slowly lowered the phone. And for the first time since Chiara had met him, the most feared mafia boss in Naples looked genuinely terrified. Luca stared at the photograph until his knuckles turned white. Chiara reached for the phone. Let me see it again. He handed it to her. Her mother was still tied to the chair, and behind her stood a man Chiara had never met. Yet Luca had recognized him instantly. His father, the man who had supposedly died 15 years earlier. Are you sure? Chiara whispered. Luca's voice was hollow. I buried him. Maybe the photograph is fake. No. How do you know? Because that scar. He pointed to a thin line beneath the man's left eye. My father got it the night he killed a man in front of me. Chiara swallowed. You saw him do that. I was 19. She looked at him. You've never told me anything about your childhood. You never asked. I didn't think I'd need to know how your father became a ghost. Luca looked away. He wasn't a ghost. What was he? A monster. The driver pulled away from the villa. Luca immediately grabbed the radio. Double the security around the house. A guard answered. Yes, boss. And nobody leaves. Chiara looked at him. You said we were going to the warehouse. We are. Then why lock everyone inside? Because if my father is alive, the villa is no longer safe. Chiara's stomach tightened. Luca. What? What if he wants the baby? Luca's eyes snapped toward her. Don't say that. Why? Because he doesn't get anything from you. His voice carried such absolute certainty that Chiara went quiet. A few seconds passed. Then she whispered, You really love me, don't you? Luca stared through the windshield. He didn't answer. Chiara almost regretted asking. Then he reached across the console and took her hand. I didn't know what love was supposed to feel like. She looked at him. I thought it was weakness. His thumb moved slowly across her fingers. Then you happened. Chiara's eyes filled with tears. Before she could respond, the car stopped. They had reached the warehouse. Luca immediately raised his weapon. Stay behind me. They stepped into the rain. The warehouse doors were wide open. No guards. No cars. No movement. Chiara whispered, This is too quiet. Luca nodded. Exactly. They entered. The smell of damp concrete and gasoline filled the air. Then a light flickered on. Chiara's mother was sitting in the middle of the warehouse, still tied to the chair. Alive. Mom. Chiara started forward. Luca grabbed her arm. Wait. A voice echoed from the darkness. You've always been impatient, Luca. Luca froze. A man stepped into the light. Older. Broad-shouldered. Silver hair. Cold eyes. Chiara stared. Luca whispered, Father. The man smiled. It's been a long time, son. Luca raised his gun. You died. I allowed you to believe that. You murdered your own death certificate? I had help. Luca's finger tightened against the trigger. You took my mother. She knew too much. And now you've taken Chiara's mother. The older man smiled. She knows even more. Chiara stepped forward. What do you want from me? His eyes moved to her. Your blood. She stiffened. My blood. You're the last surviving daughter of the Bellini line. Luca's expression changed. What are you talking about? His father laughed. You never figured it out. Figured out what? The records weren't the inheritance. Chiara looked confused. Then what was? The older man looked directly at her stomach. The child. Silence. Luca stepped in front of Chiara. You're not touching her. I'm not interested in touching her. Then what? The child carries something that belongs to me. Chiara's hand instinctively moved over her stomach. You don't even know if it's your blood. The man smiled. I know exactly what it is. Luca's voice became deadly. Explain. Your father-in-law's bloodline was never the important one. He looked at Chiara. Your father discovered that the Bellini women carried a rare genetic trait. Chiara shook her head. What trait? A condition that made them resistant to a disease that destroyed members of our family. Luca stared at him. You've been looking for them. For generations. Chiara's face went pale. And you think my baby has it? I don't think. The man smiled. I know. Luca suddenly raised his gun. Enough. His father didn't flinch. Shoot me. Luca's eyes narrowed. Go ahead. Luca. Stay behind me. His father laughed. You still protect people who don't deserve it. You're the one who doesn't deserve to breathe. Then pull the trigger. Luca's finger moved. A gunshot exploded. But it wasn't Luca who fired. One of the warehouse lights shattered. Darkness swallowed everything. Chiara screamed. Luca, I'm here. He grabbed her and pulled her down. Gunfire erupted around them. Stay on the floor. I can't see. Don't move. Something struck the concrete beside Chiara. Luca fired toward the flashes. Then suddenly the shooting stopped. Silence. Chiara lifted her head. Luca. He was gone. Her heart stopped. Luca. She crawled through the darkness. Then she felt something warm beneath her hand. Blood. Luca. A groan came from behind her. She turned. Luca was on the ground. His father was standing over him. A gun pressed against Luca's chest. Chiara screamed. Don't. The older man looked at her. Give me the key. Chiara froze. What key? Your father's key. I don't have it. His eyes hardened. Don't lie. Luca coughed. Don't give him anything. The older man kicked him in the ribs. Chiara cried out. Stop. Then give me the key. Her trembling hand moved toward her dress. Luca shook his head. No. She looked at him. His eyes were telling her not to do it. But then her mother's voice came from across the warehouse. Chiara, don't. Chiara turned. Her mother was struggling against the ropes. It's a trap. The older man smiled. Too late. He pulled out a knife. Chiara's breathing stopped. What are you doing? I'm going to prove something. He moved toward her mother. Chiara screamed. Wait. He stopped. What? Chiara reached into her dress and pulled out the brass key. I'll give it to you. Luca's eyes widened. Chiara, no. She held the key tightly. But you let my mother go. The older man smiled. Of course. He extended his hand. Chiara took one step forward, then another. But as she reached him, a sudden wave of nausea hit her. She doubled over. The key fell from her fingers. Her vision blurred. She heard Luca shouting her name. Then her stomach twisted with a pain so sharp that she screamed. Everyone froze. Chiara looked down. A dark stain was spreading across her dress. Her mother screamed. No. Luca's face went white. Chiara. She collapsed into his arms. He caught her just before her head struck the floor. Stay with me. She could barely breathe. Luca. I'm here. The baby. I know. Her eyes closed. Then the older man whispered something that made Luca look up in horror. This is exactly what I was waiting for. Luca's face hardened. What did you do? The older man smiled. Nothing. He glanced at Chiara. Her body is rejecting the pregnancy. Luca's blood ran cold. Why? His father slowly stepped backward. Because the child isn't yours. Luca stared at him. And then Chiara's eyes opened. She whispered the one thing that shattered him. Luca, I remember who the man was that night. I remember him. Chiara's fingers tightened around Luca's shirt. The man from that night. Luca's face was pale. Who? She struggled to breathe. I thought I didn't remember. Her mother began crying. Chiara. No, Chiara looked at Luca. I remember his voice. Luca's eyes hardened. What voice? He said my name. A cold silence spread through the warehouse. Then Chiara whispered. It was Matteo. Luca froze. His uncle. The man who had spent months pretending to protect the Moretti family. The man who had arranged the marriage. The man who had told everyone Luca was infertile. Luca slowly looked toward his father. You knew? His father said nothing. You knew Matteo was using her. I knew he was obsessed with the bloodline. And you let him? I needed the child. Luca's eyes became murderous. You used my wife as breeding stock. His father smiled. You were never supposed to love her. Luca stood. Blood ran down his side, but he barely noticed. You made one mistake. What mistake? You thought I was still your son. Luca raised his gun. His father laughed. You won't shoot. I won't. The older man's smile returned. Then Luca lowered the weapon. I'll make you live long enough to watch everything you built disappear. A gunshot cracked behind them. Matteo stepped from the darkness. His gun was pointed at Luca. Enough family drama. Luca turned. Matteo fired. Chiara screamed. But Luca had already moved. The bullet struck his upper arm. He staggered. Chiara grabbed his shirt. Luca, I've got you. Matteo raised the gun again. Give me the key. Luca smiled. You're too late. Matteo frowned. Why? Because I already know where the records are. Matteo's expression changed. Luca looked at Chiara. Her hand instinctively went to her stomach. The key isn't for a door, Luca said. Chiara stared at him. What is it for? Your father's final message. Her mother suddenly understood. The bakery. Chiara looked at her. What? The old bakery. Her mother started crying. Your father hid everything beneath the floor. Matteo fired again. Luca pulled Chiara down. His men stormed the warehouse from every entrance. Within seconds, Matteo was surrounded. He dropped his weapon, but his father laughed. You think this ends with us? Luca walked toward him. No. He glanced at Chiara. It ends with me protecting what you tried to destroy. Hours later, the old bakery stood silent beneath the pale morning sky. Chiara stood beside Luca as workers lifted the wooden floorboards. Beneath them was a metal box. The brass key fit perfectly. Inside were documents, photographs, bank records, and a handwritten letter. Chiara unfolded it with trembling fingers. Her father's handwriting stared back at her. My little girl, if you are reading this, then they found you. She covered her mouth. Luca stood beside her. The letter revealed everything. The Moretti family had discovered the Bellini bloodline decades earlier. A hereditary disease had killed several members of the family, and Matteo had learned that certain Bellini descendants carried a genetic resistance. Chiara's father had refused to surrender his daughter. He had hidden her identity. But before he could escape with her, he had been murdered. Her mother had gone into hiding to protect Chiara, and Luca's father had faked his death to manipulate the family from the shadows. But there was one final revelation. Chiara's pregnancy had never been an accident. Matteo had drugged her at the charity dinner and used a fertility procedure without her knowledge, intending to create a child carrying the Bellini trait. Luca's infertility had been a lie created by the same family, but the treatment had triggered a dangerous reaction in Chiara's body. The doctors eventually discovered the truth. Her sickness wasn't a mysterious illness. It was a severe pregnancy complication caused by the drugs Matteo had given her. And there was another shock. The child was biologically Luca's. The doctor proved that the treatment had used Luca's preserved genetic material, taken years earlier without his knowledge. Chiara stared at the test results. So all this time, Luca took her hand. You were carrying my child. She began crying. I thought I'd lost everything. He pulled her gently against his chest. You didn't. What if the baby doesn't survive? Luca's eyes filled with fear. Then I'll stay beside you through every second. But if the baby does? He smiled faintly. Then I'll teach our child never to become like me. Chiara laughed through her tears. You? Yes. You're a mafia boss. I know. You have tattoos covering your entire body. I know. You scare grown men just by looking at them. He shrugged. That's useful. She smiled. But you're also the man who wrapped my injured hand with a handkerchief. His expression softened. You noticed? I noticed everything. Months later, Chiara stood in the hospital room with Luca beside her. The tiny cry of their newborn filled the room. Luca stared at the baby as if the entire world had stopped. The nurse placed the child in his arms. For the first time, the feared mafia boss looked completely helpless. Chiara smiled. Are you afraid? Luca looked at her. Terrified. Of what? Of loving something this much. Chiara reached for his hand. You don't have to be afraid anymore. He leaned down and kissed her forehead. Outside the hospital, the Moretti empire was collapsing. Matteo had been arrested. Luca's father was awaiting trial. The stolen records had exposed corrupt officials and criminal partners across Italy. But inside that quiet hospital room, none of it mattered. Luca looked at Chiara. You know what the strangest thing is? What? I thought marrying you was the worst thing that ever happened to me. She smiled. And now? He looked at their child. Now it's the best. Chiara laughed softly. I suppose I should thank your family for forcing us together. Luca shook his head. Never. Why? Because they don't get credit for you. He squeezed her hand. I chose you. Chiara's eyes filled with tears. And I'd choose you again. Luca leaned closer. Even if I couldn't give you a normal life? She smiled. I never wanted normal. She looked down at their child. I wanted real. Luca kissed her. And for the first time in his life, the man everyone feared had nothing to protect himself from. No enemies. No guns. No secrets. Only a woman who had entered his life as a forced bride and somehow become his greatest love. And a child who had been created from betrayal but would grow up surrounded by something far more powerful. Family. If this story touched you, don't just leave quietly. Like, share, and subscribe for more emotional mafia love stories where the darkest secrets can lead to the most unexpected endings.